Dear viewer, good evening and welcome to Spotlight. With me tonight, my dear friend from Macomb Sheriff Department, Commander Jason Abro.
Thanks for having me.
Jason, welcome again to MEA.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. We look at Macomb County, and it's a combination of so many ethnic minorities. And you are in touch with all those minorities and all that. What's the issue that you have with those community?
You know, really for us, for law enforcement,
Yes.
for the sheriff's office specifically,
Exactly.
and we patrol 6 different communities, and we have multiracial communities, whether we have an influx of Albanian or Chaldean and
Yes.
Italian.
Yeah.
You know, our biggest thing is to make sure that we interact positively with every single group, and whoever it may be, is to spread the message that, you know, we are here for you, anything you need from the sheriff's office, any
Yes.
kind of assistance you need. So, you know, we do have some balancing acts that we have to, you know, kind of balance with certain, you know, communities, but
Yes.
but we want to make sure we serve everybody appropriately and everybody equally.
I
And
see.
that's our goal here at the sheriff's office.
Beside as a Macomb sheriff, do you serve some cities as their police agency for them?
Yeah, so we serve
Yes.
6 different communities. We serve Washington Township.
As a police and sheriff, right?
Yes,
Go
so
ahead,
we
yeah.
are their law enforcement agency.
Yes.
They contract with us, and that is Washington Township, Macomb Township, Lenox Township, the Village of New Haven, the City of Mount Clemens, and Harrison Township.
Wow.
And within those communities, we have an influx of deputies and command officers who are serving those communities to make sure that we deliver the best police services to those communities.
I see. And our friend Mike Bouchard, he was here about a month ago, and he mentioned that there are some cities like Pontiac, they don't have police department. The sheriff are the police department beside that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we are obviously the county sheriff, that we maintain a county jail. We also maintain the waterways within our county. We have a very large marine division,
Okay.
several miles of waterways and shoreline that we patrol, you know, summer as well as, you know, we're out there in the winter as well. But just like you stated from our colleague Mike Bouchard, he also has communities just like us that, you know, pay for police protection, and we are their police, as their sheriffs.
Yes. A lot of people, they messed up between, you know, the sheriff department and the police department. Of course, when the FBI and the rest get in, that's a different. But what's different between, let's say, you have a city that they have only sheriff. What's your major major things that you do with this community?
Yeah, so basically, as the sheriff, we're no different than, and I'll use the city of Sterling Heights as an example.
Yes.
Of their patrol
They
officers.
have the chief, the
Yep.
police and everything and all that.
Yep.
Where do you come to, what kind of role do you play?
So we play an identical role as a city police department. The only difference between a sheriff's office and the local police is that we maintain a county jail, we maintain the waterways within the county, we offer certain resources that some cities might not have, but we also, you know, and I do want to say that in Macomb County, we have some of the best police departments
Yes.
that I've ever seen, you know, across the country. The cities like Sterling Heights and Roseville and some of the other cities that we work with,
Yes.
we work very well with them, and we all interact together. We're all pretty much one big team, and that's our goal, right? Our mission is to make sure that we take care of the communities that we serve, to protect them, to make sure that we're there for them. But the county sheriff, one of the biggest aspects of the county sheriff is every county has to maintain a county jail. So
see.
all these agencies.
So how is the new jail going?
The new jail's going great.
Yeah.
They're on, from what we're told, they're on target.
That's good.
Spending's looking pretty good. And what the new jail is going to bring, it's going to bring something different than what we've seen across other communities and maybe in other states, is that we're going to have a mental health new facility. We're going to have a central intake. We're going to be able to assess these individuals coming in into our facility. The whole goal is to make sure that when these individuals are released back into society, that we've made a difference, right?
I
That,
see.
you know, our goal is to make sure that these people get out there, you know, get their lives back together, you know, seek employment if that's the issue, to get back on their feet. If there's any substance abuse or mental health, to make sure we can assess that so that we get them back into the community, and to make sure our community is safe from individuals that may be going through a mental health issue.
You know what, this is very important issue, honestly. COVID, and instead of the kid playing with his a friend at school, or, you know, he's sitting home watching the social media, sometimes a brain wash, and that shooting, if we look at the shooting at the school and all that, it's all mental health. To come to the shooting, and the mental health, sometimes they go to abuse drugs so they could treat their mental health. And you mentioned separate. That's very good, because if a kid 17, 18 years old, because he's got mental health, and he uses drugs or he does something not major, we cannot put him with the criminal who they have killing and all that, because we're not serving them the right if we put him there. So to put him in a separate area and rehab and all that, God, you're doing something great to the community,
Yeah.
and to their family.
Yeah, you know, I don't know the statistics on COVID and what's transpired,
Yeah.
but I can tell you that, you know, we're seeing a lot of mental health cases on the rise.
Yes.
That I didn't see, you know, 20 plus years ago in law enforcement.
Mhm.
You know, more of it's exposed. But what is everyone's goal? Our goal is to make sure that these people get the help they need. You know, and we shouldn't have that stigma anymore to where, you know, if somebody was going through a mental health crisis within their own home, within their own families, that people would keep it quiet.
Yes.
People would not come forward. You know, they wouldn't call the hotlines, and there's so many different organizations today
Absolutely.
that have assistance
Mhm.
to say today, look, if my son or daughter has a mental health problem, seek help. You know, forget the stigma of what was, you know, in the past. There's nothing wrong with saying my son or daughter has a mental health problem or even a substance abuse problem, and
Yes.
seeking that assistance. No problem. But we here in law enforcement, well, we get those calls all the time. We respond. We do everything we can to make sure that these people get the help that they need. Just like you said, this person probably should not be in jail.
Yes.
This person should be somewhere where they're getting assistance, and that's our goal.
Great. And honestly, you know, we have Macomb Mental Health, Wayne County Mental Health, and Oakland. They advertise with us, and we bring the expert here. So we talk to the community, because if there is a person, a mental health, and a family, it'll destroy the whole family. It'll
Yeah.
destroy the whole
Yeah.
family. Okay. Going back to the ethnic minorities and all that, is your office reflecting the community? Do you have Middle Eastern? We have Italian, you have Albanian, Polish.
Yeah. So it's funny, I'll go back to 2001 when I was hired. I'm going to hit my 25th year here next year. I was the first Chaldean officer ever hired by
Wow.
Macomb County Sheriff.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know,
by the way,
it was a
Macomb County,
milestone.
Michigan have 83 counties, you know, to the people outside Michigan, okay? But Macomb County today is the hub of the Middle Eastern community.
Absolutely.
There's over probably
Yes.
200,000 living here.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
And Sterling Heights is one of our cities within our county
Yes.
that has a large influx of Middle Eastern, and they do a phenomenal job. But when you know, 2001 I'm hired, but today, fast forward, I do the hiring for the sheriff's office.
Wow, what
I'm
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and I'm in charge. So what our goal is to make sure, and you know, usually any law enforcement agency
Yes.
likes to hire a reflection of their community. If you can hire,
Because to understand the culture.
absolutely,
And their custom and all, and each one have different culture, you know.
correct. And
Yeah.
within our agents, I can tell you, we have Albanian officers, and we
Good.
have Hispanic and Chaldean, Lebanese, and our goal is to make sure that we have officers that serve within our agency that reflect our community. And when they go out into the streets, into the public, whether it's in our facilities, that when we do get somebody of an Albanian descent or of Chaldean descent, that we're there for them, we're able to assist them. But that's the biggest goal, is to make sure that we hire a reflection of what's out there in our communities within our agencies. So We've done a great job at the Sheriff's Office. I know a lot of the police departments around Macomb County are doing a great job too of hiring.
And you mentioned from sheriff to probably sergeant, and then 1-star and 2-star. You have a lot of accomplishment. And you mentioned to me that you went to the FBI Academy and all that, and the training for 3-6 months. Tell me more about it.
So it was a...
You know, the community, they love that. Nice stories from a representative of that community.
I was so honored. I got a phone call from FBI Detroit just, last year. It was in 2024. And, and they said, hey, your name's come up here downtown. And I was like, okay. At first I'm getting a call from the FBI. My name's coming up downtown. Like, well, do they want to hire me? What's going on? But no, he said, there's a high-level program that we offer to high-level executives, and we'd like you to go to the FBI National Academy. And I was honored. I was thrilled. I was like, wow, they reached out to me to go to the FBI National Academy. So I did some testing. I went through some physicals. I knew it was going to be very physical training. So in March of this year, in 2025, I left for Quantico, Virginia. I was embedded into the FBI facility for almost 3 months. I was living on campus, living at the barracks.
Away from the family, away from the friend and all that.
Away from my friends and family, isolated on a military base in Quantico. And I trained with the FBI. I trained rigorously, where there was physical activity. I went through, schooling there, and I wrote many papers and had many presentations there. And I was happy to say that in I think it was about the second week of June, I graduated from the National Academy Class 294.
Nice.
I was honored by, I think it was a FBI Deputy Director, Don Bongino, who was able to give me my certificate of graduation. But I also completed what the physical challenge of this for over 10 weeks was called the Yellow Brick Road. It was a 6.2 mile run along with obstacle courses. I finished the course. I think it was just
real training.
It was real training, yeah. But I learned a lot, and I was embedded with many officers, high-level officers from different states and even across the country. It made me bring that perspective back to the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. And, what's the whole goal of this high-level training? For me to come back and learn, and what I've learned at the FBI Academy and apply it to better serve our communities, to better serve Macomb County. So it's helped me tremendously. I credit the FBI for selecting me. And now I'm an alumni forever, I guess.
Great.
With my class, and I'm happy that I finished it, and I'm happy to be a part of them.
Very proud of you, Jason.
Yeah, thank you.
Jason, how is the law enforcement in different county, and you are surrounded probably by Oakland and the biggest, Oakland and Wayne. How is the relation, and the FBI and the police department and the sheriff department? How's the relation between them? Are they working? Are you under one umbrella? What I understand, sometimes they want me to join that.
Yes.
One umbrella that keep the communication together. Tell me more.
I can tell you, from my 25-year career, I don't think it's ever been better, and I can tell you why.
Excellent.
And now we're getting into much of our investigative techniques and who we work with, but we have some of our officers who are assigned to the DEA. We have officers assigned to the FBI from our agency, and so do some of the local police departments, on some of our drug teams and some of our surveillance
and
teams.
FBI and all that.
And I tell you, the communication is great. We work very well together, and I think there's more information sharing from what we've seen, with shootings and
people are coming from Detroit to Troy, coming from West of Bloomfield to Warren, and shooting and all that. And the criminal, there is no borders.
Yeah,
they are.
And I can tell you, our communication has been spot on.
Excellent.
And you know, we work very well with the other counties. We work well with Raphael Washington,
Yes.
Wayne County Sheriff, Mike Jafar, phenomenal,
Oh, Mike is
phenomenal
yes.
under sheriff. We work very well with Oakland County. Obviously, you know, both communities are on our border, and Tim Willis, the under sheriff, and
Yes.
and we're constantly. We just had a meeting with Oakland County about certain things, and
Yes.
but that's our job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our job to make sure that we all work together is going to make sure that we are giving the community our best, right?
I see.
That's the whole reason about us getting together. Us getting together, sharing information with different counties, different federal agencies. Our main goal is to make sure our communities are safe.
Great.
That's the whole reason for us working together.
Okay. How about the business in the community? And as you know, if we're talking about the Middle Eastern community, have many businesses in Macomb County. How is the relation? And probably the sheriff is the one who are very close to those businesses.
Yeah.
How is your relation with them?
You know, our relationship with the businesses is top notch.
Great.
I mean, and we tell the businesses,
Uh-huh.
if you need anything, here's our numbers, here's our website.
Yes.
Contact us, any complaints. We try and get our deputies and our officers to make sure that they step into businesses, meet the business owners, talk to them, see what their needs are. You know, community policing is very big, right?
Yes.
Because we want these business men and women to come into our communities and invest in our communities. And if the police department is there for them, I think it just takes it to that, you know, next level to where that business owner says, this is where I want to do business. I want to do
Yes.
business in this community because my police
Safe.
department cares about me.
Absolutely. And a question is that we don't have much in Michigan for that, but you get a criminal, and he's supposed to serve 10, 15 years in jail, okay? And you take him to a judge, and judge give him 15 days, 3 months. And he's in the street committing the same crime that was. How are you feeling toward this? Thank God we don't have much in Michigan, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
but we broadcast nationwide. So there is a lot of New York and Chicago and a lot of places.
We have,
doing
you
that.
know, I think in law enforcement we've seen challenges, and we see it too. We see where, you know, sometimes we'll look at a bond and someone released on a specific charge, we're like, wow,
Oh.
that's a very low bond, and we see it on our Facebook where someone is arrested and charged, and we see some of the comments that come in from the public
And we
that
see
say,
a criminal committing the same crime
Right.
that he went first time in front of the judge. Go
right,
ahead.
and we see that, you know, and the only thing we can do in law enforcement, obviously, is to reach back out to our judicial partners, to reach out to the, you know, the chief judges and the chief, you know, circuit court judge to, you know, sometimes express our concerns. And I can tell you that lately they have been, you know, looking at those issues. And some people will come back and say, well, you know, during COVID, you know,
Yes.
there's many individuals that were released out of jails just because of the medical issues. And I think, you know, experts will say that, you know, COVID was reducing a lot of bonds. But I do
Yes.
think, like, when our judicial partners are working at that, and I've
Mhm.
seen a significant change, that bonds are getting a little higher. They're holding a little bit more.
Are we doing
more
that in
individuals
Macomb?
accountable. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We have excellent judges.
Yeah.
But for the people outside Macomb to hear from you.
Yeah, within our communities, I can speak for Macomb County that, you know, do we see, and does the media see or the public see a case where maybe a bond was a little lighter than it should be? You know, and the bonds are pretty much set for, it's not for punishment, right? A bond is never issued for punishment. It's issued for, you know, a protection of the
Protection,
community, to
exactly.
make sure this person is safe to go back into the community. So it's
Yeah.
not issued for, you know, punitive issues. But I think that our judicial branch within the county, whether it's our district court, our circuit court, they're doing a good job, and we're grateful. But like I said, some people would say, you know, it's part of the COVID issue, that bonds were a little low and people are being
Well, in
released.
different states, till now, we have that.
But I think it's
Yeah.
been corrected. But,
Yeah.
you know, nationally, do you see a repeat offender, a second or third offense, commit a heinous crime, and then all of a sudden they look back and they say, boy, this judge released this person.
That's right.
It does happen, and you do see it. It's in the news.
Yeah. Let's go to the Middle Eastern community.
Yes.
And honestly, look at you, what you went through, the academy, the training, and it's still you are going more and more and more, and we're very proud of that. But why we don't have, in general, the Middle Eastern community, and let's talk about the Chaldean too, why we don't have many police officers or enforcement, if it's police or sheriff or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go back. I'm going to give you a little history on me. So, you know, my parents owned a grocery market at the time.
Yes.
And
like everybody.
like everybody else, right? So I said, I'm going into law enforcement. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So the first thing, my mom, are you sure? It's dangerous.
Yes.
You know,
And how much you get paid?
Yeah,
That's
and your pay. Are
Yeah.
you sure you want to give up the family business to do this?
Yes.
You know, you'd be very successful here. In my mind, and I'm sure a lot of individuals that want to get into law enforcement, I never wanted to look back and say, I wish I would have done that. I wish I could have done that. You know, I was always a person that wanted to aspire, you know, to do, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go out and get it. So it was very, it was tough. It was very tough at that time to do
Yes.
it. But I look now and I see, I talk to many of candidates today, whether it's in the Middle Eastern community, the Albanian community,
Yes.
and some of them go through the same issues. My mom, my dad told me, don't do this. You know, if I can say something to the parents out there, this is a phenomenal career. This is a career to give back to your communities.
Yes.
And I can tell you, you know, today I'm still excited to go to work every single day, 25 years later.
Wow.
Every day is different.
God bless you.
You know, is there ups and downs? Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know what? Give your kids a chance. You know, if this is what they want to do, let them do it. I can tell you that they're going to go into a police academy. They're going to be trained, and they're going to work with some of the best individuals at these police
And
agencies.
they're going to make the community proud.
And they'll make the community proud. And you know
What's
what?
your message? Give me a message to the kids that he's trying to graduate or he's in high school, and why he should join the law enforcement.
I'm going to look directly at the
Yes.
kids. So
Please,
listen,
yeah.
if your heart's in law enforcement or your passion's in law enforcement, do it. Don't give up on your dream. If you work hard at something, there's nothing that you can't accomplish. I can tell you that my goal was to be hired in a police department. I had no idea that 25 years later, I'd be sitting as the commander of the Macomb County Sheriff's Department, which is the third in command. Work hard. Don't let anybody take it away from you. And there's nothing that you can't accomplish. And I can tell that these kids, to tell their parents and their families that, look, this is what I want to
Yes,
do.
yes.
Get out there and do it. And we have, specifically in the Chaldean community, I've met a lot of these kids at the foundation or wherever I've run into them, is that in churches,
Yes.
whether it's at St. George or Holy Martyrs, we got some bright future stars.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when I talk to these kids and I look at them, I mean, this is our future, and we need to invest in them, and we need their parents to believe in them. And I know they can do it, because if I can do it,
Absolutely.
and if I got through the challenges of
We need the
2001,
encouragement from the parents to do it.
fighting with
Yeah.
my parents that, you know, this is what I want to do. I remember going to a wedding, and one of my uncles, on my dad's side, he said, "Don't do this. You know, you're giving up your family's business." But you know what, though? I still continued on that passion, and that's what I got to say to the kids today. Is like,
Yes.
get out there and do it. You can do it.
Yes.
And one day you'll be in my position.
Sure. As a Macomb sheriff, do you, for example, visit some community college or some high school, talk to the senior about joining the law enforcement?
Yeah, we do. We have so we have our own recruiters.
Yeah.
We have a recruitment team that goes out, and anybody who makes a request to us to come out to, whether it's a college or whether it's a job fair, we send a whole team out. I remember years ago when I was assisting with some of the recruiting. I remember going to the Chaldean Foundation. We had a table there, and anybody that came through, we were providing information on applying to our agency. But
Yes.
yeah, we get that request all the time.
But community college and high school it's the right. I think it's the right place to target. You know.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they're ready after they graduate to
Yeah,
join. you know.
absolutely. So we do a lot of stuff with the military too, like, you know, returning, veterans,
see.
whether they're interested in law enforcement. We do a lot with colleges. We're actually even getting into some of the high schools, into some,
Yes.
law enforcement programs that they have, to let kids know that, look, this is a good career. It's an honorable career.
Absolutely.
So you have a career, and I always look at this and I say, we're asked to play as a police officer.
Yes.
Right? We're always first on scene,
Yeah.
before the fireman.
When
right?
something happened, who's going to be there?
Yeah, we're
The
always
law
the first on
enforcement.
scene. And I look
Yes.
at it and I say, we're asked to play the role of a counselor. We're asked to play doctor. We're asked to play police officer. We're asked to play, a fireman, because sometimes, like I said, we're there first. There's many different hats that you wear in this career.
Yes.
But I can tell you that at the end of the day, and I always tell the new recruits, that when you come to work, you turn the switch on, your business switch, but when you walk out the door, turn it off. Make sure you go out there and enjoy your family and not
Absolutely.
live this. But when you turn that switch off and you go home, you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
If you can help one person, it goes a long way.
And honestly, on behalf of the whole community, we thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for your service.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me. But I have to thank the community too, and it's the messages, just like what you just said. Good job, and keep going, and I get that all the time, and we're proud of you, and that makes me even stronger. It makes me continue my passion.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
and
thanks
give
for
us all
having
blessing.
me. Yeah, appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Sure.
Sure,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.
You
Thank
got
you.
it.
Dear viewer, that was my interview with my dear friend Jason Abro, which is I'm very proud of him, and what he accomplished and what he's going to accomplish in the future. And I'm looking at the parents, and I'm looking at the students that are ready to graduate from high school and join probably college or join law enforcement. Joining the law enforcement and having a person of the family that he served as a law enforcement, believe me, make you very proud, very proud. And yes, whenever you see somebody who at law enforcement, thank them for your service. And why we thank them for your service? Because when we need help, who are we gonna go for? Them. And if you put your son or daughter in this position, that means if the community they want help, who are they gonna go for? Your daughter and your husband and your son that he joined the law enforcement. So please, money is not everything. Money is not everything. And if a person in your family he have passion about serving the law enforcement, please encourage him. Encourage him. By encouraging him, you're gonna make him feel proud, and he's gonna go and make you feel proud. Thanks for watching, and good night.